Yo, what's up? This is Ru, aka the Culture Black Kid, and this is Ru and Friends, here to review the latest releases from the Aussie scene. We are going to review the latest Maina Doe project. One day it will all make sense. She is a Somali Indonesian alternative R&B singer, songwriter. This is a debut EP, and yeah, just to give a little quote, I think I read on Complex AU, she said, "This is all these songs are just about me trying to figure out different aspects of adulthood." Obviously, that's such a small aspect of the EP, but we're gonna get into it. And like I said, this is Ruined Friend, so I had to bring a friend with me. Please introduce yourself and what do you do?
Yo, everybody. My name is Jerry IJALE AGBINYA. I wear a couple of different hats, but I am the audio content producer at Triple J Unearthed, but I also am a producer, mixing engineer, artist, rapper, performer. I go by the name of IJALE. Thank you for having me, Ru.
Of course, of course. Glad to have you. Had to get you for this one. So yeah, Maina Doe's debut EP. What is
Yeah.
your overall thoughts, general thoughts, if you can wrap it up in like one sentence of this EP?
Hmm. One sentence. That's a hard one. Okay. One sentence about one day will all make sense. Um, I feel like it was impressively concise considering there was more than one producer on the project.
Mm.
I thought she brought it together really well. And even though it was I don't know, I guess maybe an ambitious project, it all sounds cohesive and like sensual. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, for sure, for sure. I agree with that statement. I think that I think she also talked about on another article about, the first few releases that she put out, um, didn't, she was still trying to figure out where the Sonics were going, but this one is like, okay, I'm in. I know exactly where I'm going. And I think that shows even, with, like you said, multiple producers. I think it's an easy listen. I think it goes so quick. Uh,
Definitely.
and which does pose a question that I might get to a little bit later. But yeah, overall, I really really enjoyed it. Each song is super catchy in their own way, but like I said, we'll get into that. So, let's kick it off with some pros. What are some pros from this project that you really enjoyed, and maybe any songs that back those pros up?
I think uh the name of the project is like really well served by the subject matter of the songs and stuff like that. One day will all make sense. You can hear that she's trying to find herself. You can hear that she's like, made some concrete assessments about herself and the world that she lives in. But at the same time, it's not like whenever she uses I statements, it doesn't feel like it's just talking about her, you know what I mean? If it feels like you can attribute that to, people growing up, young adulthood in general kind of thing. I really like that. Yeah. And it was in like a um smart kind of way. Like she wasn't talking down to her audience, you know what I mean?
Mhm. For sure, for sure.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I feel that. You definitely brought up a production earlier. Again, we mentioned it a couple times. I think that's the first thing that one of the first things that actually stands out to me. I think the production across this is amazing.
Crazy.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Shout out to, the likes of Finbar and 18-Year-Old Man, Stereo, Len
Mm.
20, just to name, a small handful. And the way that Mina sits on top of that production, it's like a glove. It fits.
100%.
Wow, it's so so good. Um,
Yeah.
two of my favorite tracks, which is two of my favorite tracks of the year so far,
Mm.
according to my mid-year lists, is Witness and Lucid Dreams, which I just as soon as you press play, it's I don't know. There's something about the bass lines in this
Yeah.
project that is crack. It's
Definitely. 100%. And you mentioned those two tracks, like those are the tracks that I believe Finbar took most of the production duties on. Yeah, that guy knows pocket for sure.
yeah, for sure, for
Yeah,
sure. I think
100%.
when I was going through, each of the singles, and I'm like, I think, oh, what came first? I think Witness came first, then Lucid Dreams. Um, if I'm not mistaken.
You're right, yeah.
Um, And then so when I heard Witness and I was like, okay, who produced this? Finbar. I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, fire. And then when Lucid Dreams came out, I'm like, do I even need to look at who who produced this? But I still went. I'm like, yep, of course it's Finn.
Yeah, yeah. He's a
But
bad man.
shout out to everyone else who definitely touched on everything else.
Agreed. Yeah.
I also really liked outside of the singles. I really liked Damn. I think that was a really nice joint as well. Uh,
Mm.
but yeah, was there any other standouts for you song wise, or maybe other ones that I've mentioned that you want to double down on in your own way?
I think I really, really liked I guess she used it as the hero track when the whole project came out. Don't worry about me.
Mhm.
Um, I just felt like that was like the perfect track to kick off the release of the whole project. It was like really optimistic, really like um it gave me like movie kind of climax vibes.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
sure.
Yeah, one thing that I really liked about that song, and it definitely like comes through in a lot of other songs, she repeats herself in different ways with the melodies she chooses, and it makes everything feel like familiar but fresh at the same time. Yeah, she's good at that. Really good at that with melody.
Sure. For sure.
Mhm.
And yeah, like we've mentioned a number of times, like this project is super cohesive and like you said, with melody, but each song has its own flavor to it that
Mm,
allows it to stand out in its own way and be its own personality for sure.
yeah, definitely
Um,
agreed.
yeah, but anyway, to keep it moving, let's move on to maybe some cons if we have any. Was there anything that you came into this project or you when once you finished this project and was like, oh, unfortunately I wasn't the biggest fan of that, or maybe this could have been a little bit better. Uh,
Mm. I think maybe it's like unfortunately a con about the EP, but also it's like a sign of the times. Like I wanted there to be more twists and turns between the tracks that I had already heard. You
mhm.
know what I mean? Like we're only really given the opening track, which was like kind of just an entrance into the whole EP, and then damn.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I think that's just like that's what happens nowadays, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I do feel like um it would have kind of made more of a statement if there were maybe 8 tracks. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And I think that kind of dovetails into my one, which is I do feel like I feel like there was more to say. I don't know
Mm,
why. I feel like, it was definitely what she said was what she needed to say, but for some reason I finished the loop and I'm like, that's it?
oh
Like,
yeah, yeah. I was like, oh word. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
And it's
100%.
right back to the intro, and I'm like,
Mm,
and obviously everything it's open to a deluxe. If she wants to put out a deluxe, that's
facts, yeah.
more than possible. Please put out a deluxe. Um,
100%, yeah.
but yeah, I was like, I feel like it's missing like just a couple more songs just to pad the runtime a little bit, which is
Mm,
funny because I have a review with for Chanel Loren's EP with Ben Madden where I said that I actually felt like that one felt like the perfect time length for some reason,
mm,
but this one felt like it needed a little bit more. I don't know. Again, I mentioned it there. I'm still in that mind state where I'm like, I'm not sure why I think that for these two
yeah.
projects, but I don't know. Maybe it's sonically, maybe because Chanel's is a bit more uh scattered with the sonics and the genres. Well, this
Mm,
is very succinct, all within a very alternative R&B, very synthy, um, vibe that um maybe it's like, oh, like you said, maybe this should have been a couple more twists and turns in the
yeah,
in
yeah, definitely.
um
Mm, mm.
but again, that's not really like I think we know that that's not really a con. That's kind of more so
Not
just
at all.
a nitpick or like a personal taste type.
100%. Like it's only a con because we want to hear more from her. Like that's never a
Exactly.
bad thing. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like you you come into a work interview and you're like, I work too hard. That's my bad quality.
Yeah, fact. And I hate the idea. It's like, oh, I want more from you. I'm like, you just released an EP. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Mana. But yeah, like I know this was a long time coming. Like I've known her for well over a decade now. Like, and we've been really good friends. And like I think like this is the EP that I would have expected younger her to make. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in that sense, I do feel like it's like a cohesive body of work, and it's like it really speaks to who she is. But I just wanted more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure. And as a fan, you're always like, oh, what? you know,
Thanks.
I'm sure there's some in the vault that you could have just, just added in there, but
Yeah.
always leave the door open for a deluxe possible. But anyway,
Exactly.
yeah, okay. So those are the pros, those are the cons. Let's get to our final rating for the project.
Mm.
So just to refresh you and the listeners out there, this is how I like to rank my projects or songs. So you are either here for this. It might depend on the day whether you were here for this or not, or unfortunately you were not here for this. So Jerry, what would you rank this, or how would you rate this?
I'm definitely here for this for sure.
Sure, for sure.
Yeah.
And I agree. I'm also here for this, but let me know what you guys think. Are you here for this? This is not really for you. Let me know. Yeah, Jerry, thank you so much for jumping on this review of Mina's EP. Please let the people know, where they can find you and what have you got coming up.
Yeah, thank you for having me, by the way. Appreciate it. You can find me at IJALE official, on all the handles. I'm dropping singles regularly. I live out in Melbourne, so come catch me at a show sometime. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. And I'm gonna be waiting for your project so then I could
Oh, it's coming.
okay. Because I'm I got the review coming for that one as well. So
100%, 100%. Glad to have it.
nah, for sure, for sure. But make sure you tap in. And yeah, thank you once again. I am Ru, aka the Culture Black Kid, Jerry, Ajale. I'll catch you next time. Peace.